Youth sports considered one of the most competitive industries in the country, but also potentially one of the most damaging with lasting impacts.
Anyone that's ever lost a loved one realizes at the end of life, all that really matters are relationships. And I think all of us would be wise to really contemplate our most cherished relationships and think about if sports are harming those relationships, maybe we're doing it wrong.
According to an Aspen Institute study of youth sports in America, the average child spends less than 3 years playing sports and quitting by age 11. And the reason why kids are quitting? Because they simply don't have fun playing anymore.
You know, youth sports it's a different ball of wax.
Father of 3, Joe Francis's kids love sports. But when his oldest Lawson was just starting out, his mentality toward competition almost damaged a lifelong relationship.
I felt like my role was to control him, to tell him how to feel about the sport. When he was 6 years old, I was trying to get him mentally prepared for a wrestling match. It was more about me. I was the primary in the situation and not so much Lawson.
The negativity and drive for his son to be the best could have severed a father and son relationship.
I remember taking him aside in the hallway because he was playing with a toy he found on the ground and telling him he was going to lose the match because he wasn't mentally prepared as a 6-year-old kid that just wants to play with a toy and is somewhere else. I was taking the fun of being there away from him.
Hindsight being what it is, Francis sees where he went wrong, but it's something not always caught in time.
Parents don't want to damage their kids, right? Parents aren't saying, I'm going to yell at you after you lost a match because I want to damage you. I believe that the parents have good intentions behind almost everything you do.
Manager of USA Wrestling's National Coaches Education Program, Mike Clayton, a decorated wrestler at Navy and more than 25 years in coaching, understands the value youth sports provide to athletes.
As parents, if we become more emotionally aware, more willing to learn what good coaching and good parenting looks like, because that's tough, right? You know, how many of our kids, am I talking to my mom now or am I talking to my coach? Am I talking to my dad or my coach?
And in Francis's life, he thought it was all about being the best.
I had to make sure I had the shortstop. I had to make sure I had the kid that was winning the gold medal, you know, instead of letting it develop on its own.
He didn't know why it turned into that mentality, but feels it may have more to do with the feelings of the parent than the child.
You see parents on social media posting, I got a gold medal, and he got first, he took second, and he went 17-4 this weekend, and it's falsely comparing yourself in a situation to somebody else's experience.
Francis made a conscious effort to change.
You have to find a group of coaches that you can trust your kid with, that you can take your hands off and allow them to be in a culture that grows them.
He found that change in Jason Keck in Greater Heights Wrestling, focusing on making youth wrestlers better on the mat while also using tools from the Fellowship of Christian Athletes in Three-Dimensional Coaching to also help the kids away from wrestling.
It's constant communication with the parents and letting them know too that your child is going to develop differently than the parent that's sitting next to you in the stands.
Keck's coached several standout wrestlers. He's learned over the years every wrestler's different, and what happens at 6 or 9 years old doesn't necessarily mean anything when they're 17 or 18.
I mean, the whole point of having kids be involved in youth wrestling or youth sports is to learn the valuable lessons that come along with it.
So as Lawson continues to wrestle now at 12 years old, Joe Francis sees a tremendous difference in his son, also himself, their relationship, all because he realized youth sports are not the end-all, be-all.
20 years from now, the percentage of kids that are going to be at a pro level, it's very, very few. So don't lose the years that you have with your child or your athlete, or if you're coaching, don't lose those years with the kids you have in front of you by making it about yourself, by making it about something it's not.
Chris Roush, KQ2 News.